Welcome to Demystify Magic with Molly and Madison.
I'm Molly, a former skeptic, now full-time energy healer, author, and your resident science meets spirit nerd.
And I'm Madison, a born and raised witch, teacher of the craft, and owner of not one, not two, but 3 metaphysical businesses.
Together we dig into low-effort witchcraft, spirituality, and the science that backs it all up, all with humor, heart, and a sprinkle of chaos.
So whether you're a curious skeptic or a seasoned witch, find a cozy spot, take a deep breath, and let's demystify some magic.
Howdy doody, friends.
Howdy doody.
We're here in the studio.
Things maybe look a little different, maybe sound a little different.
I know.
This is a new environment for us. I think this is the best I've ever looked recording this podcast.
I love that you're looking at yourself and not the actual camera too. As
I
you're
don't
trying to
know what the camera is. I'm having an out-of-body experience in this moment.
We feel like real podcasters right now, and that is unusual.
Yeah, that's an interesting experience.
We've just been fucking around for 3 years, and now we're in a full-blown fucking studio with mics and literally 2 handlers and free San Pellegrino and Diet Cokes, and we just don't know what to do with ourselves. So we decided we're going to make you a little treat magic, and that little treat magic is an 8-part video podcast series on the Sabbats.
This is something that we've been asked to do probably for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And this just felt like a perfect opportunity to do it, you know? Like we've got this studio for 2 days where we had the very specific discussion of, are we going to change outfits for every episode? And we've decided actually to double down and Great British Bake Off it.
Yeah, Bake Off style.
I'm trying really hard not to sweat.
Yeah, we're gonna wear these clothes for 2 days.
We just get progressively stinkier over the next 48 hours.
In this tiny, tiny room. It'll just be us and our BO just talking about the Sabbats.
And aren't you so lucky to be a part of it?
Can't wait.
But yeah, we're going to go through the Wheel of the Year. We're going to start with Samhain and make our way through, end on Mabon. And we're going to talk about the history. We're going to talk about the ways that we celebrate. And then we're going to give you guys some low effort ideas.
Yeah.
And for those who are on our Patreon, we will be making a little medium effort ritual to go along with our notes that we'll have uploaded in our Clubhouse. Wow, I just hit the mic. Oops, that was, I don't know what to do with myself. There's a lot of stuff happening. I talk with my hands. Everything's fine. But we'll have our notes. We'll have our medium effort ritual and everything written out for you on our Patreon Clubhouse. So if you are into this, you want a little bit more content, you want to beef up your Wheel of the Year rituals, got great news.
We got more for you. And before we start, we want to give a big shout out. This is not sponsored, by the way, but if you've been following the podcast, you know that I won this trip out here from Creator Wizard, Justin Moore's sponsor games. And so big thank you to Creator Wizard, Justin Moore, and Kit Studios for allowing us to record this. So if you feel so excited about it, maybe send them a little thank you over on Instagram and let them know how much you love our podcast. And maybe next year we do this for every episode.
Yeah, maybe they'll let us come back. Maybe we won't be barred.
Could be. I don't know. We're on episode 1 of 8 in 2 days.
Know.
So
with the amount of Diet Coke I plan on drinking, it's going to be a tough sell.
She's going to be bouncing off the walls. All right. Before we dive in though, Madison, we have a special treat with our magic moments. Do you want to explain what we're doing?
Yeah. So we, I would say maybe our main fear and struggle in planning these episodes was the realization that 8 episodes in 2 days means 8 magic moments and not a lot happening in between those magic moments. So we outsourced our magic moments from our Patreon community. So every episode we will have a magic moment from a Demisty. I'm really excited about it. It was really, really fun to collect these too. It was like creating a magic moment in and of itself.
Yeah.
Because I just got to read about everybody else's little moments of magic and joy and spiritual connection. And I was like, oh, I would actually like to do this forever.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really nice to we often get DMs from people sharing their magic moments, which we love, but it's some of them are so cool that we're just y'all need to hear this.
Yeah.
Because y'all could listen to us yap all day. I mean, you're going to. I feel like we could have come up with 8 magic moments, but it would have been a struggle, and I like this better.
Yeah. I like the idea. It's like a little way of introducing you guys to one another.
Yeah. Yeah. So who's our first magic moment from?
First up, we've got a magic moment from Hannah. She wrote, reposting here from the Magic Moments chat area, because we do have a whole group chat on our Patreon dedicated to people sharing their magic moments, which is so fun. That's another added benefit is we have like 4 or 5 different group chats. We have just like general talking. We have one where we give spoilers, book talk, magic moments, pets. We have a full dedicated channel to pets. It's a really fun time. But she writes, reposting here from the Magic Moments chat area. We had my grandpa's funeral on Thursday. When he passed a couple of weeks ago, I asked him to show me a bat to say hi in spirit. We've just put him to rest, and what do I see in my garden tonight right before the blood moon? A bat circling around our trees. Aww. Tender.
I love that. I love that.
Me too. I think that's I love the moments of like automatic payoff, especially with something that, I mean, I don't know where I live. There's not a ton of bats, so I don't know if they're like.
Ever tell you my bat story?
No.
It's how Woody got his middle name, Batavius.
Okay. I didn't know Woody's middle name.
Batavius.
Well, now I've learned.
Mm-hmm. I've had 2 bats in my life. The first one was when I lived with my friend Will, who's like, just to give you a little, like, Will and I went to high school together. Hi, Will. You don't listen to this podcast, but he, for like 6 months, only ate Soylent.
Oh, I thought you were going to say for 6 months only 8 bats.
No. I'm getting to the bat part, but I just need to give you some color.
I do remember that story.
First. Yeah, because remember we talked about how I want to be a filter feeder because I don't enjoy cooking or consuming food. Yeah, Will actually lived that life. He had a whole like round robin Susie kind of cabinet of just Soylent, and that's all he ate. He had his own bathroom, so like that was fine.
Was he deeply miserable?
No, he was just like, yeah, why spend time cooking? And I was like, I get it. This man is the most logical person I've ever met. Anyways, we had a bat in our apartment and I was away somewhere. And so I couldn't help. And he was like, dude, bat in apartment. And then next thing you know, I get a video of him using a Cheez-Its box to scoop the bat up off the floor. He goes, and then I was like, Bub, what are you doing with this Cheez-It box with a bat in it? And he's like, I don't know. I'm still holding it. I don't know what to do.
I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah.
I'm having a lot of feelings. My only experience with bats is my dad's old house in North Carolina. When I would go spend the summer with him, there was this one lamppost in like the far back part of his lawn or his yard where like just a circle of bats would come like every night. And I was deep in my like vampire era.
Yeah.
And I would just go outside and watch them like a creep. Being like, maybe one of you is a vampire bat.
Was this when you were deep in your Twilight era?
I think it was like shortly after Twilight. I read Twilight in like 5th grade. So this was maybe like summer after 5th grade.
Yeah.
Summer after 6th grade probably.
Yeah.
When I still had hope for like, you know, maybe a vampire boyfriend is coming for me.
Yeah.
Before we start on Samhain, I do want to give like a little bit of a disclaimer or like explain a little bit about what the Wheel of the Year is if you are not one of the hundreds, if not thousands, of people who have been in our DM saying, please talk about the Wheel of the Year. The Wheel of the Year is a cycle of holidays that is meant to honor the turning of the seasons. So there's one for each solstice and equinox, and then the midway points between those 2 holidays. It feels important to talk about the Wheel of the Year from a couple of different perspectives because a common misconception with it is that it's this like ancient practice.
Yeah.
And that's just not true. The Wheel of the Year was like invented in the early 1950s by Gerald Gardner, who is problematic in and of himself. There's like a whole rabbit hole that we could go down.
Should we do an episode?
If
one person comments asking us to do an episode, we will do Warren style episode
about Wicca, like the founder of Wicca, because that's what who Gerald Gardner is. He's considered like the father of Wicca.
This is the Roman Empire I've wanted to dive into since I entered the world of witchcraft.
I know it's like it's complicated because I mean, any person in history is nuanced and complicated and, you know, has shitty aspects to them, especially like in 1950s Europe. He's British. Especially white men. And so the idea here is that he has kind of pulled different practices from different Eurocentric countries, mostly Celtic or Norse, but from all over Europe, and is kind of put them together in this amalgamation of a Wheel of the Year. And so that feels important to say because I don't want to like give you guys this information about like how to celebrate and not tell you where it's coming from.
Kind of like how he did.
Some might point out. But what we're kind of going to do is I'm going to give you the ancient, like where
it came from.
Yeah, I'm going to give you the history on where it came from, and then I'm going to show how it's been like kind of adopted and brought into modern pagan practices.
This is what I love about our podcast. Is like we can just pull the veil back and be like, hey, a shitty guy came up with this. That doesn't make the practice shitty, but like it's important to know where shitty guy got shitty materials to make cool practice.
Yeah, because the idea of working with the seasons, especially like where I live, where I don't feel super connected to the earth all of the time.
Yeah.
And that's like a message that we get all the time too, is it's hot all the time where I live. It's cold all the time where I live. I don't feel the seasons in this very traditional way. Like, how do I do that?
I'm just going to reposition.
Okay, that's great.
Usually y'all don't see this.
I know. I keep thinking of like, what happens if I like need to sit in a different way?
You sit in a different way.
And clearly and I'm glad that you did it first.
I'm here to help.
And I appreciate that about you. But anyways.
Yeah.
Even down to the word Sabbath, he took from the word Shabbat in Judaism.
Yeah, I was going to say that was my knowledge of the Sabbats before I met you.
Yeah. And so it's like it then becomes this extension of the anti-Semitism that exists where, you know, Jews are called witches and not in the good way.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because that's like where so much of witch iconography comes from in movies and TV is from Jewish stereotypes. Things like hooked noses.
Oh my God.
Are deeply, deeply rooted in anti-Semitism. And it's the idea that Jews are witches that are controlling everything.
Holy fuck. And the pentacle. No, that's a 5. That's 5-sided. Never mind.
That's okay.
I thought I thought I was going with something there.
And I couldn't wait to see where we went.
As someone who, you know, celebrates ish parts of the Wheel of the Year, but like I don't, you know, like some of these I know nothing about, and you're going to teach me. And I tend to work with nature more through the lens of traditional Chinese medicine. Mm-hmm. I think the Wheel of the Year, the equinoxes, you know, TCM, like all of these different elements have led me to understand that like the purpose of these types of practices is for someone who wants to be a witch, calls themselves a witch, whatever that looks like to you, to connect more with nature and to connect more with the earth. And we can do that through the seasons, or we can do that through just hugging a tree. And so if the Wheel of the Year doesn't align with you, you don't have to practice it. If there is, you know, a element of the Wheel of the Year that doesn't work for you, you don't have to practice the entire wheel to be a witch or to be a valid witch. And you don't have to practice any of it to call yourself a witch. It's really like, how do you connect with nature? And this is one pathway to that. It's not the pathway.
Yeah. And I think something that's really important to note here is that these days and times can just serve as reminders, even just to check in.
Yeah. I see them as like marked moments where I can be like, okay, how was the last 6 weeks? How's the next 6 weeks? Kind of like how we do with the full moon and the new moon.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So starting with Samhain.
Samhain. Ooh, I sound good in here.
The acoustics are excellent.
Holy shit, dude. Can we just take a moment for my vocals? Samhain.
We're tooting our own damn horn in this place.
Toot, toot.
Anyways, we're selfishly starting with Samhain, one, because we'll talk about it a little bit later, but in modern paganism, it's been called the Witch's New Year, and I really love that.
The Witch's New Year.
She's going to sing this whole episode now and talk about how good she sounds, and you know what? It's her world, I'm just living in it. But Samhain is an ancient Celtic fire festival. So the idea is that on this day, it begins at sunset on October 31st, and then ends at sunset on November 1st, which is something that I didn't know until last Samhain.
Oh,
it's meant to go from it's like that one full night and the whole day, and then as it gets dark again, it ends, which I think is really cool. the idea is that in that 24-hour period, the veil between our world and the spirit world is at its thinnest.
What is a fire festival? I mean, I know what fire festival is.
It actually is just like that. They put on a really shitty music festival, and everybody got scammed once a year, every year.
Wow, the veil is
So the
really
veil
thin.
between our world and the grifters' world is very thin during this time. Yeah. No, so the idea is that really the center of ancient Samhain was protection from negative spirits.
Oh.
So they would have this massive bonfire that was meant to protect them from any negative entities that were like going to have greater access to them.
Is that where Burning Man got their fire?
You know, that wasn't a part of my research, I'll be honest.
I don't know. I'm just thinking of like other
But I'll give it a goog later.
fire fests, you know?
Well, I think there's really only one that matters, and it's the one we already mentioned.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I think that's the
True.
closest comparison that I can draw is
Fire
Firefest.
Fest.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
But that idea that it's the witch's new year in Samhain, that's a much more modern interpretation. And
Yeah.
we've taken those elements of protection, and you can still see like the fire elements in some representations of Samhain.
The jack-o'-lanterns?
Totally. It's very much where modern Halloween gets a lot of its
So what came
stuff.
first, modern Halloween or Samhain?
Samhain.
Tea.
Because the idea, again, is like that there's these negative spirits. So
Yeah.
we all put on
That's
costumes
why we put costumes on
to distract
hide.
them. Yeah.
Where does trick-or-treating come from then?
I don't know as much about that. I think that there's like, there's some stuff about the idea of like who you're supposed to open your door for.
Yeah.
But that I didn't go as deep into because I was like, that's for another day. That's for another can of worms. I can't get into
Yeah,
the
we'll do
overlap
Christian holidays next time we're in the studio.
Next series we'll do Christmas and Easter. No, but now Samhain, we've leaned a little bit more into that thin veil as a positive thing.
Yeah.
Where it's become a time for ancestor work, for like leaving offerings for fairies. It's a great time for that. But kind of like our societal view from a pagan perspective, at least, about a thin veil is very different now than it was then. There was a lot more fear around what could come through.
Yeah.
And there definitely is some of that, but I feel like that's kind of stuck with that Christian side, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas the pagan beliefs now, we kind of lean more into the positives that can come from that connection.
Yeah, I think it also depends like your opinion of witchcraft, right?
For
like
sure.
if you think witches are bad, you're going to assume, oh, veil is thin, demons. Call the Warrens.
Yeah, call the Warrens. Like, we got to exercise his house.
Yeah. But
Have
if
you
you're
seen Poltergeist?
No.
Oh, there's
I've seen 12 movies in my life, probably.
me too. How is Poltergeist one of them for me, not for you?
How's Aladdin one for me and not for you?
I get it. Whatever. For another day, for another podcast.
You promised our Patreon.
And
you would watch it.
we're working on it. It's happening.
Let her cook.
Let her cook.
Before we dive into our rituals and how we celebrate Samhain, let's hear from a word from our sponsors. This episode is sponsored by Madison.
Quick question. Do you ever feel like you missed the moment? Like one Sabbath passes and you weren't even ready? No altar prep, no ritual, no candle burning? Ugh.
Yeah, guilty. I always underestimate how soon Samhain or Beltane will sneak up on me.
That's exactly why I made our Turning of the Wheel spell candle subscription. Here's how it works. You get one handcrafted, seasonally aligned spell candle 3 weeks before each Sabbath. That's enough time to prep your altar, tune into the energy, get your herbs, your crystal, whatever calls to your soul. Each candle is blended right here in-house. Oils, herbs, crystals, all tied to the essence of the season. Think frankincense and cypress for Samhain, citrus and rose for Ostara, lush herbs and sun-blessed stones for Litha. Every Sabbath brings a different recipe, a new way to connect with the wheel of the year.
So you'll never say, oh, shoot, I forgot that candle again. But instead, yes, I have everything I need to welcome this turning. Honestly, getting the candle in the mail is my signal for my ADHD that the Sabbath is coming up. And it always feels like a little surprise present to myself.
Exactly. And it's $28 every 6 weeks, automatically sending you the next Sabbath candle. Join anytime, you'll get whatever's coming next. So if you start between Sabbaths, you'll be queued up for the next one. Plus, we've got free shipping anywhere in the US.
Oh, if you want to feel more grounded, more ritual rich, more present with the seasons, this subscription is an anchor for you.
Light the candle, breathe in the scent, and let the wheel turn.
Check it out at shopspellcrafter.com or in the link in the description of this episode and use the code MAGIC for 20% off your first candle if you want to try it out.
Let's welcome the next Sabbath together.
Thank you, Madison, for sponsoring this week's Demystify Magic. So how do you celebrate in Florida? Because I feel like it's different in Maine because we're celebrating the fact that the humidity has lifted and the trees are falling.
Yeah.
Well, not the trees, but the leaves.
The trees, they're all falling
They're
down.
all falling.
They're just
and we
all-
are celebrating.
Hell yeah. Insurance claims for everyone. No, so it also has become a lot different for me since opening Spellcrafter.
Yeah.
October is like our Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
And so for me now, Samhain has kind of marked this really busy and fulfilling time of teaching and ritual and like participating in community magic.
Yeah.
But for a long time, it was really just a time for me to honor those who were in spirit.
Yeah.
And to it's a really great time for me to work on my own psychic ability as well, because when the veil is thin, we have greater access to spirits of all kind. So like this is something that I started to notice a few years ago, is like those little things that I would see in the corner of my eye, those like figures or whatever that you turn and they're gone. That really ramps up a lot around October. Like as you get close to Samhain and then kind of through November, you'll see it kind of taper off. There's that added level of like spiritual and psychic connection. If that's something that you've been building and developing and fostering, you'll see that kind of intensify. And so that's a part of it that I really celebrate, is that, you know, because I really do believe that we are all constantly developing our psychic ability. Like the most psychic people I know are working on it all the time. This period of time as we approach Samhain is where maybe new abilities come forward to me, like make themselves known. Things that I've been working on get like just a little bit easier, and it gives me that kind of momentum that I need to keep working at it.
Yeah.
You know, but it's also a time where I really do like lean into the ancestor magic of it all, especially now with Linda in spirit. I like am really excited to take that time to really, really honor her.
Yeah.
And, you know, the things that she taught me about Samhain, I get to now put into practice for her, because a lot of what I know about the Wheel of the Year came from her.
Oh, that's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
Like to go through the wheel, like with her now in spirit.
Yeah, it's like a weird thing to say that I'm excited about, because like excited is not the right word.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that I'll get to have that experience with her. It was something actually, so we host a ritual at Spellcrafter for every Sabbath, and it was like a promise that she made to me that she would do a full year of them and that to teach me how to do it, and then I would take over. And obviously that didn't happen that way. And so now Anthony and I have been going back and forth, but this Samhain we've decided like we just love to do things together, and we're just going to do all of the Sabbaths together. And I remember her being literally in the hospital and saying to me, like, I promise I'm going to write down what I was going to do for the other ones for you. Like I'm saying, it's like, it was so her, like in those moments, to be such a mom about it, to be like, I know that you like weren't supposed to have to take this over so early, but like, we're going to figure it out. It's going to be okay.
Yeah. And to have her like in spirit guiding you too. It's almost like
it's been a really, really
very cool,
interesting experience.
Yeah.
But then also like I remember being a kid, and around Halloween time, it was like the time where it's really not until Halloween when there's any hope of it getting colder. You know, like our coldest months are like January, February.
Yeah.
And so it can kind of go either way on Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, if it's really cold or really hot.
Yeah.
And Halloween is the first event that we really have that it's like, ooh, it could be chilly. You know, it's like that time where it's cold in the morning but hot in the afternoon, and it cools down in the evening. And
what's so wild is I can't imagine a Halloween where I don't have like long john layers underneath my costume. Like we had to plan for that. It was like, I remember I was Ash Ketchum one year from Pokemon.
Of course.
And I was like, I gotta wear the short sleeve. My mom was like, no, we're gonna get you a beige long shirt.
What's so funny is I have a really distinct memory of I'll give you 3 guesses. I was a vampire for Halloween this year, and I was wearing this dress, and I wanted to wear a cape.
Yeah.
and it was so hot
Yeah.
that I couldn't wear the cape. And so then it's just me in a red dress and fake fangs.
We should just switch.
Yeah. You can come here for Samhain and I'll go up there and have my long clothes on. But I hear the stories of kids or like, adults talking about as kids, like the fight that I would have of having to wear a coat with my Halloween costume.
Dude, college? My God.
My God.
There was no jacket I was wearing over my Britney Spears costume.
That is, I didn't even think about that. I always thought about like trying to wrestle a 5-year-old into a coat, but trying to wrestle a drunk 22-year-old into a coat, not happening.
It's not happening. It
That's
didn't
really
happen.
tough.
Yeah.
Good for you, honestly.
Mm.
As our Lord and Savior Cardi B once said, a hoe never gets cold. And you can clip that.
Oh, God. If you were to ask me, a year ago before I really got into, calling myself a witch and ask me how I celebrate Samhain, I would just be like, I don't. I don't. Halloween sometimes maybe. But as I've, talked to you more about rituals and what it looks like to celebrate that, I have been doing that for the last decade. We've talked about it on the pod before, but since I think 2015-ish was the first year I did it, I've been doing a play in Portland's oldest cemetery in Maine every October. And sometimes it falls like on actual Halloween, but it really depends how the weekends line up. This year it's not. But it's a historic play, so we play characters that are buried in that cemetery, and it's written by a local playwright, and the researchers work for the nonprofit that takes care of the headstones, and it's a fundraiser for that nonprofit. And so people walk through the cemetery, and it's always a different show, so I always play a different character, and they walk through and we do our monologues, and they walk through, they see another monologue, and it creates this story of Portland's history. And it's really like in reverence to the people who are buried there and their ancestors and all of that, and like the history of Portland. Like Portland's burned down 3 times.
Really?
Yeah. It's crazy. Jesus. I did not know this until I started doing the show. And so like learning so much about like the resilience of the people who came before us in this, place. Like I'm a first gen Mainer. I feel like that's really like a way that I honor. And I remember like the first time I ever connected to spirits was the first year I did it. I remember I thought I heard the director walking behind me in the leaves. And then all of a sudden I looked out and he was on the other side of the pathway.
Oh, wow.
And I literally felt that same feeling all the way home. And I remember picking up my Chinese food from the DoorDash people and just turning around and being like, you gotta go. Yeah. Like, you gotta go. You're not coming home with me. And then feeling that spirit leave. And that was like, I always associate like the veil thinning. I know like I get a lot of people who are scared of those like shadow figures and things. And so I like to say this is a perfect time to practice not just your psychic abilities, but your psychic boundaries.
Yes.
Because they will listen to you if you say, go the fuck away. I don't have the capacity for this right now.
Something that I learned from Anthony that he learned at a cemetery tour in New Orleans is, one, when you go in to the cemetery, leave a couple coins at the entryway. And then when you leave, walk out backwards.
I'm not going to walk out backwards because it's hella dark when I leave. And those cobblestones in Portland,
it's just as you go over the threshold. Like not the whole way out.
Still not going to do that.
Okay. Well, it's just another option.
But I do say thank you. So what I do is like, when I show up to the cemetery for every show, I actually go to like a part of the cemetery where no one else is. And I do my performance for the spirits.
I love that.
And I do the whole monologue and I basically ask for their blessing to do the show.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that for years. I have chills. Even before I could like call myself a witch or any of that, like when I was a skeptic, I was doing this. And so that's become like, I've really taken that in as my Samhain ritual, as like, this is me honoring not just my own ancestors, but like all, like, because a lot of the people, the reason this nonprofit takes care of their headstones is they don't have family. They don't have ancestors. There's no one, like they would not be remembered if it wasn't for this tiny, very underfunded organization that is just very grassroots. Like they make money by like doing cemetery tours and like doing research and doing talks and things like this. So it just feels like for me, that's the best way that I can honor Samhain. And it makes me feel like now that I've like connected that to my practice over the last 2 years or so, like that feel like I can feel the veil drop and I can feel like I can feel almost like their laughter or their like applause when I do the show. Like it's so cool. And every year it becomes this marked moment in my psychic practice, my intuitive practice. So it's like last year I remember being like, holy shit, I can feel the cemetery being like, please take this stick.
Yeah.
Please keep it in your car. It's still in my car. And so it becomes this really cool moment where I'm like, oh, look how much I've grown. Look how much my connection to nature has grown. My connection to myself, my connection to my practice has grown. So that's really my biggest celebration.
Yeah, so it really is like the new year of your practice. It's
Yeah.
where you can kind of like goal set and see where you've grown and changed and developed.
Yeah.
I think Samhain is the perfect Sabbath or holiday for skeptics because every culture has a way that they honor their dead. And so it doesn't have to be even about the psychic part of it.
Yeah.
You know, it can just mark a moment in time where you pay respects to those who came before you, to people that you've lost, to, you know, to your own ancestors, to the ancestors of the land. You know, it doesn't have to be specifically about your like level of communication with them.
Yeah.
That's what I really love about the concept of a dumb supper, which is we talked about it on the podcast before, and it's I'll talk about it a little bit later too. It's our it's in our
Let's talk about it now.
Okay, well, it's in our low effort rituals, but it's just it's a meal that you make for those in your life that are in spirit. Drew and I do it every year.
Yeah.
Where we will set out like a picture of the person. So it's my grandfather, it's his dad. Now it'll have Linda. And we make a meal, and usually we make it like it'll come to one of us. The first year that we did it, I made my grandfather's fried chicken recipe, and then last year Drew felt really strongly. He was like, I think we need to make fettuccine. I think I told the story on the podcast because it was like we had like weird stuff happen with like where fettuccine was just like very in our faces. But he's like, I think my dad wants fettuccine for dumb supper.
Oh, that's so cute.
And literally the idea is that you put out the meal and you don't talk, like you have a silent supper. And I love that because it's deeply low pressure.
Yes.
In that you don't have to experience anything. It's not about you.
Yeah.
And that I think is the big thing about Samhain for me, is that it's not about me. It is about them, and it is about showing that respect and that love and that gratitude. And
it could be like, even just like if you have a loved one that's buried somewhere, like going to their grave, tending to their grave. Like it could be that simple. A question I've always had about dumb supper that I know someone listening has this question. What do you do with, so you set a little plate out for, you know, Linda. What do you do with that food after? Do you compost it? Do you save it for leftovers and you eat it later? Do you throw it out? What
I
do you
don't
do?
eat it. I will either, depending on what it is.
So fettuccine Alfredo.
Fettuccine Alfredo, we put it outside, buried it.
Oh, okay. Like on your land?
Yeah, like in my backyard.
Yeah.
Or I think like when I lived in an apartment, maybe I did compost it or throw it away.
Yeah. Does it matter what
I think
you do
like,
with it?
I don't know if your dumb supper was like grapes and you have a dog, I wouldn't put that out back.
Sure,
you know, I would like, it's use discretion, obviously. Like if you have a stray cat,
you can throw it away though.
Yes, you can throw it away.
Can you eat it?
I personally wouldn't, but I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't do. I think that it's a thing where you ask spirit, you know, like if you are in a position where you're like, I can't really afford to make, and also I don't make like a huge portion.
No. Yeah. It's
Ghosts
just like a
don't
little.
eat a ton of calories.
No.
You know, like you'll
Tiny.
be fine. Yeah. It's like I have little, basically like ramekin size bowls. That I will put just like a little bit in, like a few bites.
A couple
and so
noodles.
it's because, you know, I also don't like to be wasteful.
Yeah.
But if you're not in a position where you can afford to throw away a serving of food, then I think that you can set that intention. And especially if it's for like, I cannot imagine speaking to my grandfather in spirit and saying, can I please eat this later? And him being like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know?
So you can't do it wrong. I just want to make sure that that's super clear.
Yeah. I mean, there's no doing any of this wrong.
Yeah.
This, again, like Samhain is a festival, and it is like, it has historical context and it is a real thing.
Yeah.
But also, like, clearly we've taken this and extrapolated it and made Halloween. Like, you can make your own tradition just as much. You're not hurting anybody by doing so.
You don't have to go do a play in a cemetery. That's my practice. Doesn't have to be yours.
It's certainly not mine. I will be in the cemetery, but I will not be performing.
What are some other low effort rituals that folks can explore?
So I really, really love the idea of leaning back into the fire festival of it.
I am going to be having a Samhain festival. It's $7,000. Get on the cruise now. Buy tickets now. I'll give you the info later. Is that not what you meant by get into the fire festival?
Oh, I was so confused. Yeah, we have a fire festival.
I have been waiting to make that joke.
We have a fire festival. It will be $7,000, and it may or may not happen.
It's real.
But it is non-refundable.
Okay.
So don't worry. I'll leave our Zelle in the description. But it's
the face you made when I was going on, you're just like,
I was like, where are we going? What's happening? I like completely lost the fire festival plot. But it's a really great time to have a bonfire, especially as we like start to enter that season where one thing about Florida is the moment there is a hint of a chill in the air, there's like 10 bonfires.
Love the smell of campfires.
Everyone has a campfire in their backyard. Everyone's wearing flannel. Everyone's pulled out their boots. And so like truly that's become like a Samhain celebration for me as well, is like pretending that it's cold.
Yeah.
You know? It is really fun to like wear a sweater in the morning and then take it off by 9:45.
Yeah.
There's like a certain level of joy in that. But celebrating those like first moments of like chill in the air with a bonfire with that protection, because I think there is like
smoke is cleansing.
Smoke is cleansing. Fire purifies, you know, like setting that intention, especially if you're someone who has a little bit of fear and anxiety around that thinning veil and what that might mean for like any potential negative entities or like evil spirits or whatever. Have a bonfire. And that doesn't have to be like, throw a party at your house, you know, with a bonfire, but just like have a fire in your backyard.
Light a candle,
you know, like just focusing on that flame aspect.
Yeah.
Is a really, really great way.
Or if you can have fire, I love those fireplace TV things.
Yeah.
Like you just go on YouTube, look up fireplace, listen to the crackle, turn the lights down low. Oh.
And focusing on the idea of warmth, you know, like get cozy.
Hot cup of tea,
hot cocoa,
heated blanket.
Heated blanket.
Yeah, heated blanket is my Samhain ritual.
Oh, fuck yes. Oh, I love a heated blanket.
So good.
It's truly, for me, I love anything that makes you really warm because it's like it has that very singular time frame for me. And so it's like I love to wear a sweater. I love to wear a long sock. I love to wear a boot. I love a heated blanket. Sometimes I like will pull out my heating pad just to feel something. I just need. I am also freezing always. Yeah. So the fire part of Samhain does really like speak to that part of me where it's like, you know, honoring that like warmth.
Yeah. Or even like charred vegetables.
Ooh.
Like grilled.
A roasted veg. It's the perfect time for it.
I fear I might be hungry.
It's too early for that. We got a long day. But also another thing to do around this time is practice and play with divination, especially if you are like interested in trying new methods. This is a great time to get comfortable, play with a pendulum, bust out the tarot cards, open a new oracle deck.
I really love the Samhain Oracle deck. What is it? The
Season of the Witch.
The Season of the Witch, the Samhain deck. I moved on Samhain last year.
Really?
I was like, what did I do? Yeah, because I moved the 1st of November. So the 31st of October, we were like sleeping in our living room on the floor on our mattress. And the only deck I didn't pack was my Samhain deck. And so when I got into my new house, I made an altar for the house spirit with like Samhain cards and like a candle and like a couple crystals, couple coins, things like that. And that was all I could do. I was like, I'm fucking moving today. Like everything is in boxes, the dogs, like all.
We're doing our best.
Yeah. And so like that was my ritual. And it was just like a thank you. I'm here now. Like I can't wait to get to know you. And like I'm going to go back to mundane now. So don't feel like if you have shit going on in your life, just like with every practice, it's meant to support you, not cause you stress. Yeah. So like do what you can. A deep breath and a thank you is enough.
Yeah. And like this is something that is allowed to ebb and flow.
Yeah.
You know, and even from like Sabbath to Sabbath, there are holidays that I connect with really deeply, like Samhain, and there are ones that I don't connect with as deeply, and that's okay. And if you did something really extravagant for Samhain last year and this year you're moving, it is not like a bar that you have to meet every year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, something that's really fun, if you're already doing the bonfire aspect or like lighting the candle.
Fire scrying?
Try fire scrying.
Fire scrying.
2 birds, 1 scone. As many of you have slid into my DMs with a 2 birds, 1 stone alternative. But also it's a great time, like I said, for the dumb supper, but any other form of ancestor work. Build an ancestor altar. That's what we do at the store is early October. Friend of mine, amazing author, which all the things, Kobe Michael, he comes and does he did it last year. He did an ancestor herb magic workshop at the store. And throughout the workshop, we built an ancestor altar. And that ancestor altar sat at Spellcrafter until November 2nd. And then people were invited all month long to come and leave things, pictures of their loved ones, offerings, whatever it was, beautiful. On the altar. And then they came and picked them back up after Samhain. And it's just a really beautiful temporary space to go and communicate with your dead. And it can be as low pressure to as high pressure as you want. You know, it can be as small as leaving out a cup of water.
Could be your gallery wall.
It could be your gallery
that's
wall.
Already up, like dusting it, cleaning the frames, like realigning the pictures, adding new photos to it. Like it could be very mundane and like, you know, doesn't have to be like, I'm a witch celebrating Samhain. It could be like, no, I'm just hanging these photos up, dusting these photos, whatever. Like, let it fit your life.
Yeah, and I think the most important piece with the altar, it isn't what the objects that are on it, it's the time. And so if it is something like a gallery wall, going when you're home alone and sitting under that gallery wall and saying, hey, I miss you, I love you. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Please be with me. You know, asking for support in something that you need support in.
Writing them a letter, tucking it behind the photo in the frame.
Yes, I love that. That's beautiful. It doesn't have to be like the stuff is not what's important there. The stuff is a placeholder for the time that it takes to put those things together.
And the energy, really.
Yes. And so giving that energy, whatever way feels best to you, is the perfect way to celebrate.
I love that.
You want to dive into some associations?
So we've got colors: purple, orange, black, red. Are you shocked?
This is super surprising. For herbs, I've got mugwort for psychic ability and connection, cinnamon to bring that fire element back in, and then juniper to protect from any unwanted spirits or energy.
I feel like ginger could be nice too for fire element too.
That any warming spice would be really great for that.
Cup of chai.
Cup of chai.
Cup of chai.
Samhain ritual. There you go, in a cup. So for crystals, I've got labradorite for connection to your intuition and like connection to those unseen realms, those ancestors.
Also really good for psychic protection.
Yes. Smoky quartz to dispel any negativity. Yeah. And it can serve as like a really great anchor during any sort of spirit work. Keep it in your pocket as you assemble that ancestor altar.
I love it for divination too, because it keeps you tied to the earth. So you're not too like floaty and spacey.
And then because it's so tied to the dead, it can be like a little dark and sad. So I also have carnelian on our list, again, to reinvigorate, bring that fire and like let it be a little bit fun. I think that that's something that has been really important for me in this like phase of life where grief is so heavy, is really prioritizing, like even when I talk about Linda, talking about the fun and silly things that she did, carnelian helps to like bring that level of levity to the situation and bring that like that inner fire back that makes us want to, because I think it can be hard to, especially if you have lost someone recently that you're honoring during Samhain, it can be hard to even like want to think about them. Yeah. It can feel like a really heavy like thing that weighs on you. And so bringing in like really any crystal or herb or color that brings you that like joy and light is important to tie in here, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say carnelian's nice too, because if you live, at least like where I am, the light starts to go away so quickly. And like, especially mid-November, we start to lose light like 3:30 in the afternoon. And carnelian is like always my go-to for that. So if you feel that like kind of slump as it gets darker, carnelian's nice for bringing that energy and that motivation back up.
Oh yeah, I love that. Do we do it?
Do we do it?
Is that Samhain?
Hey, so when are we going to start recording the next one?
In about 5 minutes.
Okay, we'll see you then.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to Demystify Magic with Molly and Madison. All our links, from spells to ceremonies to ways to support us, are waiting in the show notes.
We'd love to hear your magic moment of the week. Share it in a review, tag us on socials, or bring it to our Patreon clubhouse at demystifymagic.com.
And remember, you are the magic.
Okay, love you.
Bye.